Hello, this video is meant to show you how to enter data and run reports for EmpowerDB's new CalOES and VOCA template. Everything that I'm showing you here, you can sign into this template version of EmpowerDB by going to this web address and logging in with the username demo and password demo. Or you could go to empowerdb.com, click try free, and then find this template in our list of free templates that you're able to try for free forever. Which means that if you like what you see and you think that it would help you better run your CalOES and VOCA reports, and that's all you want to do, have in a database, you could have this database for free forever, exactly what I'm showing you right now. Most of our customers, though, do choose to have many other things added to their versions of EmpowerDB beyond what their funders ask for, and most of our customers have more than just 2 funders. So you can take a look at our list of funders and that we support in our pricing page here, and just know that everything I'm about to show you, EmpowerDB can do way more, but this is just a really good introduction to what we've got set up for California organizations. Okay, so once you're all logged into your version of this template or the demo template, you will come to the EmpowerDB homepage. Front and center here is adding in client activities for clients that already exist in the system. But first, let's get some brand new clients in there. So before we focus too much on that, I'm just going to go right to saying, let's add a new entry up on the top. Let's add a new client. And the basics of the CalOES report kind of imply that there's 3 different categories of clients. There's hotline crisis contact clients, non-shelter, and shelter. So let's kind of do the hotline one first and say we're enrolling somebody into the hotline hotline program. And then let's type in a name here, and notice on the right, existing client check. It's looking for clients that are already in the system that have this name or even a name slightly similar. And so if somebody pops up here, you can click through their record and make sure that they're not somebody who's already in there. So for example, I wonder if we type this in, is it going to show us up? Nope. So it'll also check for phone numbers as well to make sure that there's not matching phone numbers in there, because that'd be another indication that that's a duplicate person. So we can enter in the phone number here. This is obviously no funder wants this, but most of our customers want this. So we've included into this template. And we can also say, oh, they told us a home phone as well. And then it's this phone number, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now let's enter in information about the crisis call that was just logged. So we've got the call that just happened today, and which staff member did it. That was us, and who funded it. And so this selection determines which of these 3 funder reports this call will get counted under. So we can count this as, let's say there's a DV phone. We talked about XYZ. Okay, again, most of our customers want so many other things added about their crisis contacts, and that's very easy for us to do, but this is all that CalOES and VOCA are expecting to have filled in. Let's say this person has many phone calls. We can click this include additional crisis contact. Here's that same form again, and we can answer all the same information. Next, we have information to record the incident. So these are all options that are on the VOCA report. So we might say that they've disclosed to us domestic violence and sexual assault. And then if there's some notes about the incident, you can type that in there. And once again, we are very used to having many, many, many more fields in here about the incident. Was a police report filed? Who is the abuser? Information about the abuser, things like that. But this is just what those funders that we have talked about right now want to see. And then some basic demographics. CalOES wants to know where they were referred from. And then if we know this person's birth date, the system will always know how old they are, and will always know what age bracket to put them in. But if we don't know the birth date, we can say, I don't know, some sort of estimate age, or pick, seem to be in their mid-20s. And then all the demographics that are needed for the various reports that you run. And I'll probably say this for the last time. We are used to adding way more other demographics, but these are just the ones needed for CalOES and VOCA. Okay, let's say no children for now. We're going to add a new client, and that's it. That's all we have to do to record that this is someone who's called our crisis line, and then they called on the crisis, logging in their crisis contact. So let's say later on they call back. We would just come up here and type in their name and say, okay, yep, here's that recent client. And we can go back to their hotline intake and we can say, okay, there was an additional crisis contact. And now they called 2 seconds later. And that was the information for that. Up here on the top, this is our kind of navigation breadcrumb line. So we can say, okay, let's go back to Amanda's main record. And we can also come in here and look at their crisis contacts through this field page as well. So just 2 different ways of seeing the same kind of information. This would be if you only want to see the crisis contacts. We can scroll through, look through the different calls, add a third one here, and so forth. Okay, let's now pretend that she's gotten into the shelter. So from her main page here, we can say, okay, enroll her into the shelter, save this, and then now we have a shelter intake to fill out for her. Lots of similar questions here. So the demographic informations are going to be pretty much the same. All the information carries over. You don't have to re-enter any information when they enroll in a new program like this. But there are some new questions we want to fill out. For example, what room or unit did they move into? And let's say they've moved into shelter as of yesterday. Save changes. Okay, on the top of our page here, we can go to our program list and say who's all the people currently in our shelter. We've got Amanda, who moved in yesterday, and this family, who moved in a couple weeks ago. If they move out, we would simply click on their record. We can go to their shelter intake, scroll down, say they moved out yesterday. Why? And then here's just some generic reasons that we find people would like to have added in for this. And now that child is in grayed out, which means they moved out. Okay, so these are just some of the basics on how to add clients in the system, navigate through the record. There's a ton more that we would usually do in a full training video, but hopefully what I've shown you so far just gives you a good idea that this is very easy to do. Okay, let's talk about this Add Activities module on the home page. So we can also just right from the home page say, okay, we worked today with Olivia. This was a CalOES TV funded activity. And then here's a list of the things that we did. So maybe we did medical advocacy and we did civil justice advocacy. We can also say we refer them to somebody else, maybe another victim service program, and then we can type in the name of that victim service program as well, and then put in some notes. Okay, so those activities can be added for that client right here on the home page, and it's right here on the home page because this is actually the information that you're going to be entering into the system most of all. And so we just want it to be as quick and easy as possible to do that. But you also could have just looked up this client, their record right there, and say, okay, I want to add in new activities for them like that. You can also add in groups in this Add Activities module and say, okay, we did a VOCA funded group. It was called just support group. And then who was there? Amanda, Olivia, and her child. Oh, and then the child was there. Okay, So now that is a group entry that's been added. You can view all of your activities by clicking on the top left of every page. There's this calendar icon. And now this shows you a calendar view of what you've done. So this is for advocates to just have really quick and easy access to the information they've added into the system for their own case management work. Okay, so now we've added lots of information for our few clients. And now let's just run this report and see what it looks like. From the home page, we click on that reports link and let's visit the DV report. It says what quarter we want to do. That looks good. And so the DV report, here it is. We've got 5 qualifying clients. Who are they? These people. And it's telling us who, how the system is figuring out who counts as a qualifying client, who counts as a new client. And then here's all the results. This should just all match exactly what you're used to seeing on the DV report. Every single number you click on, you can get a breakdown about how this number is made up. And then you get an explanation about how the system was pulling that information. It's that easy. All right, let's go take a look at the RCP report now. July, September, sounds good. Okay, very similar kind of thing. The RCP report is a little more complicated. We've got a grid of information here. Oh, age missing, that's problematic. There's no field on the report for that, so we've got to go in this one here and say, okay, we've got to fix this person's age. After we fix it, they wouldn't show up in that category anymore. Okay, and again, you should be very familiar with each of these report categories as well. The RCP report also includes categories for community education programs and these other types of events. And so I just want to make sure you can see from the home page, add a new entry, add an event, and then you would say, okay, here's an RCP funded event. It was a SART meeting that had 8 people and it was attended by me. The end. And these entries appear in the events program, just like this. Okay, and now let's take a look at the VOCA report for July through September. VOCA has figured out that there's 3 people who qualify for this report. 2 people do not have 100% of the information that VOCA expects to have filled in, so we can click on these links and it'll take us to a page to fill that in. And then here are the report results for this. Just like on all of our other reports, every number can be clicked on. And some of them give lots more information about, what makes up that number. Okay, so I hope that helps show you just how easy running reports is off of from our system. And now just want to make sure you know that for anything that I didn't cover here, there's a very good chance that it's covered in this documentation section. And it's also a very good chance that you'll just be able to explore and figure it out on your own. We've gotten really good. The system is designed to be very user-friendly and intuitive and make perfect sense. But if it's not, we'll have a documentation article on how to do it, or it's just as simple as reaching out to us through a support request or any other method that works well for you and letting us know what your question is. So again, hopefully this information is helpful to you. If you want to use this system completely for free forever to run your reports, that is totally doable. Go ahead, sign up on that join now. Otherwise, we hope that this template that we've set up and the demo site that's available through here will help you at least show you exactly how simple and straightforward this would be for your organization. Thanks.